Your name has been spoken in a room you weren't in, and what was said about you, the way you were described, the feelings that were confessed. It would stop your breath if you could hear the recording. Not casual mention, not passing reference, a full conversation, maybe multiple conversations, where someone sat with their closest friend and finally let the truth spill out. The truth they've been holding back from you. The truth they couldn't keep inside anymore. The truth that needed a witness before it could be spoken to the actual subject. And what came out? It wasn't what you'd expect. It wasn't surface level. It wasn't the polite version of how they feel. It was raw, unfiltered. The kind of honesty people only access when they're talking to someone they completely trust about someone who's completely consuming them. You think you know how this person sees you. You think you understand where you stand with them. But what they said to their friend, it reveals a version of their feelings you haven't witnessed. A depth of wanting or caring or obsessing that they've kept carefully hidden from you. It's Anna. And tonight we walk into the hidden conversations, the ones that happen in trusted spaces between people who tell each other everything, where your name comes up and suddenly someone who's been so controlled around you completely loses that control, where everything they've been feeling but not showing comes pouring out in words their friend will remember forever. Let me reveal what's been said about you when you weren't there to hear it. In the sacred chambers of friendship, where truth gets spoken more freely than anywhere else. Confessions happen that never happen directly. People tell their friends what they can't tell the person the feelings are about. They confess desire they're too scared to act on. They admit caring they're too proud to show. They speak obsession they're too strategic to reveal. And there's someone in your reality who's done exactly this, who sat with their trusted person and finally spoke your name with all the weight it carries for them, who described you in ways that made their friends' eyebrows raise, who admitted things that made their friends say, you need to tell them this. It's possible you have no idea how much space you're taking up in someone's mind, how often your name comes up in their private conversations, how detailed the descriptions are, how much their friend knows about you even though you've barely interacted with that friend, how thoroughly you've been discussed and analyzed and wondered about. Some people keep their feelings private. They don't discuss the person they're into with anyone. They process alone. But others, they need to talk it out, need a sounding board, need someone to help them understand what they're feeling and what they should do about it. And if the person who's been talking about you falls into that second category, their friend knows everything, knows how you looked the last time they saw you, knows what you said that stuck with them, knows how they feel when they're around you versus when they're not, knows the whole internal dialogue this person has been having about you. Let me speak into what they've said a lot actually means. In terms of volume and content, this reflection invites you to consider, is there someone whose friend has been looking at you strangely lately? A lot doesn't mean they mentioned you once or twice. It means your name is a recurring character in their private conversations. It means multiple sessions of detailed discussion. It means their friend has heard so much about you, they feel like they know you even if they've never properly met you. In the landscape of obsessive discussion, when someone can't stop talking about another person to their confidant, it reveals the level of mental occupation that person has. You don't talk extensively about people who are casual to you. You talk extensively about people who've gotten under your skin, who you can't figure out, who you can't stop thinking about. It's possible you're exactly that kind of all-consuming presence for someone right now. They're trying to understand you, trying to decode your behavior, trying to figure out if you feel what they feel, trying to decide what to do about the intensity of their interest. And all of that trying is happening out loud with their friend. Some conversations are analytical, breaking down every interaction to find hidden meaning. Do you think when they said this, they meant that? Why do you think they did this? What does it mean that they haven't reached out? Trying to read tea leaves, trying to find certainty in ambiguity. Other conversations are confessional, pure feeling without analysis. I can't stop thinking about them. I've never felt like this before. I don't know what to do with how much I want them. Admitting the depth without trying to solve it. Just needing someone to know how consumed they are. You might be the subject of both types. Someone might be both analyzing your every move and confessing how much those moves affect them. Their friend might know the strategic questions and the vulnerable admissions. Might have heard both the "what should I do" and the "I'm completely wrecked by this person." This reflection invites you to consider, what would someone say about you to a friend they trusted completely? Let me reveal the specific things that might have been said about you. Physical descriptions are almost certain. The way you look, the specific features that captivate them, the gestures you make that they find themselves watching for, the way you dress or move or carry yourself. Details you don't think anyone notices, but someone is noticing and then describing in vivid detail to their friend. It's possible their friend knows exactly what you wore the last time this person saw you, knows the specific way you smile that makes something flip in their chest, knows the sound of your laugh that they've apparently described more than once, knows physical details about you that you'd be shocked someone was tracking so closely. Some people are observed more carefully than they realize. Every detail cataloged, every mannerism memorized, every aspect of presentation studied like art. And all of that observation gets translated into words when they're talking to their friend about why they can't get you out of their head. Beyond physical, there are personality descriptions, your qualities, your energy, what makes you different from other people they've known, why you specifically have this effect on them when others don't, what it is about who you are that's created this fixation. It's possible their friend has heard extensive analysis of your character, your intelligence, your humor, your kindness or intensity or mystery. Whatever qualities you possess that have made you magnetic to this person, their friend might know more about how you're perceived than you know yourself. This reflection invites you to consider, what qualities do you possess that someone might find themselves describing repeatedly? Let me illuminate what was revealed. Will leave you speechless. Actually signals. Speechless means unexpected, means something you wouldn't have guessed, means information that contradicts what you thought you knew about how this person sees you or feels about you. It's possible what they said to their friend is completely different from how they act around you. Maybe they're casual with you, but confess to their friend that they're anything but casual. Maybe they maintain distance with you, but admitted they want to collapse that distance completely. Maybe they seem unbothered, but revealed they're thoroughly bothered. Some people are excellent performers. They show you one version while feeling something entirely different. They protect themselves through controlled presentation, while their actual internal experience is chaos. And their friend knows the chaos while you only see the control. You might discover that someone you thought was indifferent has been describing you in terms of deep interest. That someone you thought saw you as a friend has been confessing romantic feelings to their confidant. That someone you thought was over it has been admitting they can't move on. Or maybe the revelation goes the other way. Someone you thought was interested has been expressing doubt. Someone you thought cared has been processing distance. Someone you thought was all in has been working through ambivalence with their friend. Either direction would leave you speechless. Either would reorganize your understanding of the dynamic. Either would change how you see this person and your connection to them. This reflection invites you to consider what revelation about how someone sees you would completely shock you. Let me speak to the role the friend plays in all of this. Friends aren't just passive listeners, they're counselors, they're mirrors. They're the ones who say you need to tell them, or you should let this go, or this is getting unhealthy, or I've never seen you like this about anyone. In the alchemy of confession to friend, the friend's response shapes what happens next. If the friend encourages honesty, the person might gather courage to approach you directly. If the friend advises caution, the person might continue hiding their feelings. If the friend validates the intensity, the person might lean into it. If the friend questions it, the person might try to talk themselves out of it. It's possible you're indirectly affected by a conversation between two people where only one of them is someone you know. The friends counsel about you, about the situation, about what this person should do. That counsel is influencing choices that will affect you, even though you're not part of the conversation. Some friends push for action. Life is short. Tell them how you feel. What's the worst that could happen? Creating momentum toward confession or pursuit or directness. Other friends urge protection. Be careful. You've been hurt before. Make sure they're worth the risk. Creating hesitation or continued observation or strategic distance. You might be about to experience the results of exactly one of these types of counsel. Someone might approach you because their friend told them to shoot their shot, or someone might continue hiding because their friend told them to protect themselves. This reflection invites you to consider whose friend might be influencing their behavior toward you. Let me reveal what you need to understand about these hidden conversations. The fact that someone is talking about you extensively to their friend is significant regardless of what's being said. People don't invest that much conversational energy in people who don't matter to them. They don't process repeatedly about people they're indifferent to. They don't seek counsel about people who aren't important. It's possible your importance to someone is being demonstrated not through their direct communication with you, but through their extensive communication about you to others. You're mattering more than you know, taking up more mental space than they'd ever admit to you, creating more feeling than their controlled exterior reveals. Some people will eventually translate all that private discussion into direct conversation with you. The talking to their friend is preparation, practice, working up courage, getting clear on what they feel so they can eventually express it to the person it's about. Others will keep it forever private, will process with their friend, but never with you, will let their friend know the depths while you only ever see the surface, will maintain the performance indefinitely because the risk of revelation feels too great. You might be dealing with someone in either category, someone building toward telling you directly, or someone who'll never tell you no matter how much they tell everyone else. This reflection invites you to consider, would you rather know what someone said about you or remain in not knowing? Let me speak to what happens if you actually find out what was said. Sometimes information gets back to us. The friend can't keep the secret, or purposely shares because they think we should know, or we overhear something we weren't meant to hear, or the person who is talking about us finally tells us directly what they've been telling others. It's possible you're about to receive exactly that kind of information through whatever channel, through however the universe decides revelation needs to happen. You might learn what's been said about you in conversations you weren't part of, and that knowledge will change things. Some people are validated by what they learn. I thought they might feel that way, and I was right. Confirmation of instinct, proof that what they were sensing was accurate. Others are shocked. I had no idea they saw me like that. Complete surprise. a revelation that their read on the situation was completely wrong, that they've been blind to something that's been obvious to the person and their friend. You might experience either of these or something in between, but knowing what was said will shift how you interact with this person, will give you information you didn't have before, will put you in a position of choosing how to respond to feelings or thoughts you now know exist. This reflection invites you to consider, how would finding out what someone said about you change how you relate to them? Let me close by speaking to the power of being known even when you're not present. There's something profound about being discussed, about your name coming up, about someone finding you worthy of extensive conversation and analysis and confession. Even if you never know the specifics, the fact that it's happening means you matter. You're not background. You're not forgettable. You're not someone who passes through someone's awareness without leaving an impression. You're the kind of presence that generates conversation, that creates questions, that inspires the need to process out loud. And whether what's being said is about desire or confusion or admiration or complexity doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're significant enough to be said about extensively. You're taking up space in someone's reality in ways that require their friend's time and attention to help them understand. May you trust your impact. May you recognize your value. May you know you're seen even when you think you're invisible. They're talking, their friend is listening, you're the subject that won't close. They've said a lot about you to a friend. Your name has been in their mouth more times than you'd believe. What was revealed will leave you speechless. The depth or the direction or the intensity of what was confessed would reorganize your entire understanding of this connection. And whether you ever hear the specifics or not, the conversations are happening. The processing is ongoing. The friend knows. And that knowledge is shaping what happens next between you and the person who can't stop talking about you when you're not there. Trust this. Trust that you're having an impact you don't fully see. Trust that someone's private thoughts about you are more intense than their public behavior suggests. Trust that you matter in ways that only a trusted friend currently knows about. The conversations are real. The revelations are significant. The impact you're having is undeniable. You're being discussed. You're being processed. You're being confessed about. And soon enough, what's been said in private might become what's said directly. Stay ready.